Hi everyone, welcome to the video. This one is going to be on using my best of collection, specifically with RetroX. If you've been following the build guides I've been doing recently around RetroBat, this is the same build, but effectively that's still in progress. So I'm still, still being put together. But basically that collection was started originally as a collection for RetroX, so a lot smaller number of systems, and those systems are now in the new collection, so they're ready, which is why making the video for the guys using RetroX, basically how to use it there. For the guys following the RetroBat build, that will obviously carry on, and as soon as I've finished the collection, I'll make a similar video for that and basically how to use it in RetroBat and any other front end you want to, really. So it's kind of it's more, like I say, it started on RetroX and kind of supporting the systems that it uses or that it supports at the time, sort of roughly 35 systems, somewhere around there. But obviously over time it's now grown, and my target was to basically create a collection which covered all the systems supported by RetroBat, which is roughly 160 odd. So that's pretty much complete now. Like I say, it's just a case of it all being uploaded. So anyway, for RetroX, like I say, you still use the same collection. There's just a couple of different things you need to do basically to use it. So without further ado, so also I've shared details on the RetroX Facebook group of how to get access. So for those that you have access, this might look familiar. So basically you'll go to the link here, use the details to log in as provided. And so I'll just put those in quickly, if I can get it right. So basically log in the details, and you'll get a screen that looks something like this. It may look slightly different if you're on a smaller screen, on a mobile, for example, or tablet. But basically when you want to go to files up in the top left, like I say, on a smaller screen, this may be replaced with just 3 dots to show there's a menu there. So click on 3 dots and then click on files. It will take you to this file view, and then you'll see some recent stuff. It's been recently uploaded or edited up here, but you'll see the main ROM folder here. So just click on here to go into it, and then here's where you'll see all the different systems, and then I'll see a README at the top here, which is the same as what I posted onto the Facebook group. Just also repeat it here so you can read it if you need to. But basically, in essence, you've got all the various systems in the collection, all in their own zip file. So they're all self-contained, so you can pick and choose what you want. You don't necessarily have to grab the whole lot. And also, this video is around RetroX, so I'll focus on that. So basically, like I say, there's well over 150 odd systems currently on here. It's still growing slowly. But all ones of RetroX are here. So within this README, like I say, it's what I posted, so you'll be able to see it online. But basically details in here for the RetroX specific stuff. There's a number of games for it, a number of systems. So if you're using RetroX, just pick these systems out of this list. You can tick the boxes you want and download, or you can download them individually. To download, you literally just click on them and it'll start downloading. But yeah, so here's all the systems you want if you're using RetroX, so you download those. You will notice there's a couple of variations in the fact that, so for Amiga example, there's full packages for the 500, the 1200, but then there's a package specifically for RetroX, because at the moment they have to be in a certain format for it to work. So if you're using RetroX, grab this one. There's a couple of ones that are similar. I think DOS, somewhere down here. Yeah, so so you see there's a larger pack for DOS here, for use in the collection, but the format those games are in aren't currently supported by RetroX, so you need to grab this pack. They're in a slightly different format that works with RetroX, so grab this one. And then also there's things like Dreamcast I just went past. Obviously, a lot of name convention is fairly standard across all the different front ends and emulators. But for example, in RetroX, the folder that it looks for by default for Dreamcast is DC, rather than Dreamcast. And again, that's covered in the README, so it just says basically if you want to use it with RetroX, rename the folder to DC, so you can pick it up. The other one to note is MAME. So in RetroX, it supports 4 different ROM sets of varying age. So if I just find the M's, there we go. So there's a current ROM pack uploading of MAME, which is the latest version of MAME, version 0.258. But then this pack here is specifically for RetroX, like I say. And once you've downloaded that, you look inside it. This is it here. So like I say, RetroX supports 4 different versions. So these are the years. So this is version 37B5 from memory. This is 0.79. This is 0.139, and this is 0.159. And generally, I mean, these are all the same. Effectively, it's basically a best of collection. It's just that as you go to newer versions, there'll be slightly more games, and I'll probably explain that better by going into it. And generally as well, you know, if you've got an older, slower device, you might want to get the older ROM set. But if you've got a more modern Android device running on, like NVIDIA Shield, for example, just go for the latest version. It'll have more modern games in it, obviously. But what I mean about it being the same, so basically pick the one you want. There's no need to download all of them because you'll just end up wasting space and have duplication. So if we look inside the 2001, so the first couple of games are 64th Street and 88 games. And then if we look in the 2003 version, see those same games are there, but now we've got 19XX added, simply because it's available in this ROM set, but it wasn't available back in 2001. It wasn't working, or wasn't available in the ROM set, whereas now it is. And you see there's also on here a couple of games that have been added that have CHD files, which is kind of like the I guess like a disk image that goes along with the ROM in order for it to work. And then as you go through the years, and there's more games supporting CHDs and more games in the list. So if you go then up to the very latest version, so you've got 689 compared to the very first version, 348. So there's quite a difference in number there. I think it does jump up in turn 3. Yeah, see 563. So, and then they're fairly close together. But just on that one, just basically pick the one you want. There's absolutely no need to have every single one. I mean, having said that, I've got them on there just in case, because you might find there's some games, the same game might be in all 4 collections, but it might, the 2003 version might run better for you than the other ones. So it's just, but that's a bit of trial and error. So anyway, that's what you need to do with that. The other thing around the difference is the artwork. So for example, if we look in one of these folders, so you'll have all the games. So previously when I had this collection shared, it was literally just the games in each folder, which is what Retro's looking for. So now in addition, we've got this game list XML, which is basically just a big list of all the games and where its relevant artwork is, etc. So I'm going to open that quickly. That's way too big. So you can see here, this is what the game list looks like. You got each game. It's gives it its name, its genre, number of players, language, and here's all the artwork to display. Now this XML, obviously, if you're using RetroX, you can ignore it. This is what's used by emulation station. So front ends like RetroBat, Batacera, I guess RetroPie as well, all use emulation station as a front end, and so they look for this game list to basically show the games. And then all the artwork for them are all in these subfolders, and there's some manuals as well that have been scraped. So you look in here, basically all the artwork bundled together. So the the screenshots, the box artwork, the logos. But like I say, if you're using RetroX, ignore all these. Download the zip file, and then literally you can probably just delete these folders and delete the game list. So just leave yourself with the games. I mean, you can leave them there. There's no harm leaving them there. RetroX will just ignore them, but you'll just be wasting space on your device. So basically have a little cleanup. Obviously, I guess a little bit extra work, but I couldn't have one version for RetroX, one version for everything else. It would just waste too much space. So everything's together and it's one format. It just means you can use it for whichever front end with it you want. So like I say, you grab the games there for RetroX, and you've just got the games. For the actual artwork, that is, if I go back to here, you'll notice at the top there's a folder called RetroX Artwork. So all the artwork's here. Also, this if you want to add it locally. RetroX is really good at, by default, if you don't add any artwork, it will automatically scrape and download the artwork for you. It also has the MU Movies sync tool built in, so you create a free account with them and you can do a sync or do a scrape, sorry, it'll scrape all the artwork for you. If you have a paid account with them, as with MU Movies, you can also then download the video snapped as well. You can do that, but if you want to download a local copy and the set that I've got matching here, this is where you grab it from. So inside images, we've got all the various box artwork, box 3D, logos, snaps and titles. So these are all the ones sort of supported by RetroX that will display. And then also under videos, you've got video zip, and inside there is the folder structure with all the video snaps. So you basically grab those, and I say this is mentioned in the README. Oh, if I go back to here, might be easy if I open it. Yeah, so like I say, this is the README that is on the Facebook post, but also it's here. And like I say, it mentions the artwork further down here. It said that it's got all these different types of artwork, and they should be put into this folder structure. And there's more information online. So just to show you that quickly, you go to RetroX website and go to the docs. If you need any help sort of adding them in, there's adding games and adding artwork. So for adding games, and I think like I said in the README, this shows all about how to add systems. So you can add a single game. So if you've got a single game, you can add it one game at a time if you really want to, or you can add if you've got a folder containing all the games for a particular system, you could add those. But then obviously there's 30 odd systems in RetroX, so you'd have to do that 30 times if you had a full collection. But what I use is the RetroX Collection method. So basically what this, as it says here, you create a single folder, put all your games within it in the right folder structure, and then RetroX will pick those up automatically without having to add everything. You just basically put it in there, say, do a rescan for me, and it'll add everything in one go. So that's kind of what the collection is based on. So there's more information about different formats for the games, all that kind of stuff. And this is the bit you're interested in, the RetroX Collection piece. So basically all we want to do is, on your Android device, on the root of the storage, and that could be the internal storage or an SD card or a USB device, whatever you've got plugged in, create a folder on the very root, on the very start of the storage, called RetroX, all lowercase, and then underneath there you'll have a folder for every single system. If you want to, you can go in RetroX itself, and it can create this structure for you. But obviously we've got it in the collection. But you can go in here and go into the manage local games, check folders, I think it is, and it will tell you basically a screen like this and say whether it's found a folder called. And this is a slightly older screenshot. It's an old name for RetroX, but it will say SD card / RetroX found or not, and you can click on it and it will say, do you want me to create the folder structure for you? And you say yes, and it will do it all for you. If not, you can just create this and just extract my collection into it. But basically, if you copy all the games into these folders, it'll be added automatically. So you'll see the folder structure I've got kind of matches that. And like I say, there's a few others where you need to change the name. A lot of the zip files you'll see match, but things like Final Burn, even though now it's currently Final Burn Neo, and my zip file and the folder in my zip file is called FB Neo, so you just need to rename that to FBA and that's just a legacy thing. That's how it when it was first added to RetroX, it was Final Burn Alpha, but I guess to change that to FBN, for example, needs a whole lot of rewriting of code, so it's just been left as Final Burn Alpha. And then things like Genesis, in my collection, that's called Megadrive, so just make sure it matches. And then on the artwork, so if we go back, it shows here, as I was mentioning before, how you need to add them. And then again in here you can put you can have artwork in the folder and named like this, and it will pick them up. But I use this one here, the standalone method. It's much easier for me. So basically, within that RetroX folder that we created for all the games, you create a folder called Artwork. Underneath that, you create a folder called Images. And then also under Artwork, you create a folder called Videos. And then underneath each one, you'll have a folder per system name. It's probably easier actually if I show that. So imagine imagine this is in my RetroX folder on the root of my storage. Ignore the background one. So you'll have, as you see here, RetroX/artwork, and then /images and /videos. So, and under images, we have the 5 types of images we have. So under box, we then have a folder. Again, the same naming convention as for the games. And under 3DO, we have all the boxes. And then under 3D box, under 3DO, we have all the 3D boxes. So I'll just change that. You'll see we have all the 3D boxes. So it's fairly self-explanatory. And then videos is similar, although everything's just under the videos folder. There's not, a separate folder. So again, we go to 3DO, and here's all the video snaps for 3DO. So that's basically how to add it. I think that pretty much covers everything. Like I say, it's just a case of, so it is slightly different than it was before. Like before you had a zip file which had just the games, and then you had the separate artwork to import in. But because this is more of a generic collection, it's not just for use with RetroX. You can use it with, like I say, with RetroBat, Batistera. I guess you could import it into things like Launchbox. You can do whatever you want with it, really. So each game or each folder has the additional game list and the additional artwork within it. But like I say, for RetroX users, ignore that. Just grab the games, put them into 3DO folder, and then the artwork, grab that, put it in the right folder, and you should be good to go. Like I say, there's, this is a bit of a short, brief video. But like I say, there's information on here on the RetroX website exactly how to add the games and how to add the artwork. So if you're stuck, just have a look on there. I'll drop the link into the description. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Hopefully that kind of all makes sense now. I just rambled through and lost everyone. So yeah, hopefully you enjoy it. Like I say, the actual main collection is still uploading at the moment, still growing. It's going to be about 166 systems in total. So hopefully people find it useful. So yeah, any questions, drop them in the comments. Obviously I'm on Facebook. I've got in RetroX group. Also got my own group set up and page. I've also got a Discord server. If some people don't like Facebook, we've got a Discord server you can join, have a chat there, say hello, ask any questions, make any requests, that kind of stuff. But yeah, thanks for watching. If you haven't already, please like the video, presuming you like it, and obviously subscribe, that would really help. And thanks for watching, and I'll speak soon.